Have you heard the news about Boston living?
What?
Living.
You can't be true.
The townspeople realized that Bert was going to create a vacancy impossible to fill.
What are we going to do without him? Bert can do so many things.
It's true, but most things and other also just about everything.
Bert had a small shop on Main Street. It was called the 50 shop, and Bert was known affectionately as Mr. Fix-It. There was nothing he could not repair.
A Bert was much more than a repairman. Being a friendly fellow, he listened carefully while his customers told him their problems.
And he often fixed their problems too, as well as their radios, broken furniture, and other things. He was always ready to give someone a hand.
Remember the time he had Amber's minister get a better job? Emma had a big family to support and couldn't make ends meet with the job he had.
He's always lending people money too.
I remember the day of the funeral church we were down all along Main Street and started traffic. Watson had us all organized. Everyone on Main Street was taking hold of the broken branches and pulling them out of the way.
The subjects of conversation that Bert was unable to discuss were few and far between.
It's amazing the things Bert knows. He can answer questions about science, art, music, history, and the spur of the moments too.
Sorry, can we start with second? No,
It's amazing the things Bert knows. He can answer questions about science, art, music, history, anything, and on spur of the moments too. He doesn't have to consult the dictionary or the reference book.
In politics, Bert could argue equally with a liberal or a conservative.
I don't know always see eyes to eyes with Bert, but I like the way he thinks. It's always fair.
Fine!
Have you ever noticed what are we doing? You can cut for passages just be perfect too.
I like the way he gets to the bottom of things. He doesn't just scratch the surface.
You're right. He gets all his information firsthand too.
One winter, Bert came down with the flu and was sick in bed for a week. This caused problems for all the citizens in Grimsby who needed work done by Bert. There was only one thing that bothered people about Bert Hudson. He was a bachelor.
You should get married.
Your life is a far cry from what it could be with the right woman at your side.
I agree, you're right, all of you. But what can I do about it? I'm 4 years old. There are no eligible women here in Grimsby.
women.
Women.
It's like a W-O-M-I in. When it's like when there's more than one woman, two women. Women. Good. Okay.
One afternoon, a little old lady known to everyone as Grandma Tompkins entered the fixie shop. She started immediately to talk to Bert about getting married. She made a point of reminding him of his own father.
He didn't marry until late in life. If you're not careful, you're going to be just like him. But Grandma, you know the problem. There's no one here in Grimsby for me to marry.
Yeah.
You've got... You've got a car, haven't you?
Same.
Same, yeah.
Sick.
She's not, he or she is not sick, she's sprightly.
You heard it.
Good, just go.
Can I be me?
Yeah, sure, why not?
You've got a car, haven't you? Go to some other town to find the one.
What Grandma Tompkins said made sense. Of course, that was the solution. He should have thought of it himself.
Bert started visiting nearby towns on weekends. It took a long time, but finally he found just the person he wanted for his wife.
She was a widow, just a year younger than Bert. Her name was Ada Clark, and she lived in Easton, only 30 miles away.
Wait, what happened?
What has?
What was the wild and from all I hear, she's just like Gordon.
What wonderful news? Have you met her yet?
I've met her. I must admit that she doesn't make a remarkable first impression, but you soon come to like her. She grows on you.
Everyone in Greensby was delighted.
Their delight ended quickly, however.
I'll be moving to Easton right after the wedding. I've made up my mind that's where I want to live.
What are you gonna do? Class?
You mustn't go.
You want
You must be in You must go.
Sweet lesson.
We want to let you get away with this part. When we suggested that you get married, we meant for you to bring your wife to live in Grimsby.
Suddenly, everyone seemed to be angry with Bert, or at least he felt they were. He tried to give them his reasons for leaving.
First of all, Ida is a beautiful big home in Easton, and as you know, my home here is quite small. Second, the man who has the repair shop in Easton is retiring. It's an excellent opportunity for me to take over. Third, Lily Adams, who has been helping me here in the shop, is very competent. He can easily take over.
The people didn't think much of Bert's excuse, and the more they discussed the situation, the more upset they became.
What are you gonna do?
I don't think we realize until now just how important Bert has been to this town.
No one can take his place.
The day of the wedding drew near. The people of Grimsby still refused to believe Bert intended to leave them.
I'll only be 30 miles away, remember? And I will come back to Grimsby often. It isn't as though I was going away for good.
As luck would have it, Grandma Tompkins, who had suggested Bert look elsewhere for a wife, was visiting her daughter in St. Louis. She hadn't heard the news about Bert and Ada.
Just before the wedding, she returned to Grimsby. She found everyone in a very depressed state.
Grandma was not like the other people in Grimsby. She didn't sit around mourning when things went wrong. She got down to work and did something about them.
Tell me what's wrong.
We made the word backward to the question. What?
He won't listen to us.
He really plans to leave.
Grimsby's real problem is that it's been the time that has been for years. It's time we got our toes. Bert is smart to leave. If I were in his shoes, I'd leave too.
Mike, what do you mean? What do you mean?
For years, Grimsby has been a quiet little village. We've done well in our municipal government, but now we are no longer a village. Grimsby has been growing. We are big enough to have a mayor. We should take steps to get one.
Oh, Mayor? Here.
Certainly. Then can you think of a better man for the job than Bert Kirsten?
Yes.
So they is in him to be an excellent mayor.
What do you mean?
Do you think he's good away if he were elected mayor of Grimsby?
Of course, Bert can't move away if he's our mayor.
Let's have an election right away.
The problem was solved. A town meeting was held and Bert's cousin was unanimously elected the first mayor of Grimsby. There was nothing he could do but agree to stay. Ida sold her house and moved to Grimsby.
You have no choice, Bert. You have to sit. Besides, I like the idea of being a mayor's wife.
I just wanted Ida. Anyway, I think it will be fun to try my hand at being mayor.
The people of Grimsby were happy again. They agreed too that they owned it all together.
There isn't one way to solve a problem. There's always another. If you're really bent on finding a solution, that is. You just have to be patient, and in the long run, you'll find a way.